Hey, real quick, let me share what's on my heart with you really fast while I have it in my mind to give it to you. It is such a privilege and honor and a joy to be used by God, right? It's such a privilege. And I'm sharing this word to encourage someone who may want to be used by God, or they may see others being used by God and they feel like they don't have what it takes to be used by God. You have what it takes to be used by God. And I want to say this: being used by God does not require a platform. It does not require a microphone. It does not require a stage. It does not require you having your own business. It does not require you being in a pulpit. It does not require the visible seeing things that we think sometimes is required. What you need to have in order to be used by God is a willing mind, obedience to God, and a pure heart, right? If you have those three things, a willing mind and obedience to God and a pure heart, God can use you. If you are doing what you know to do, what God requires of you personally, and you're living by the convictions of God for your life, you can be used by God. But here's the thing: sometimes we allow things that we think is possible or think is necessary to stop us from going forth in the things of God. God desires to use you. If you're a child of God and you're walking in His light, He desires to use you. Guess what? When I am being used by God, it's not always in a way that other people might think is worthy of being used. But I know for myself that if God is pleased with what I'm doing, then that is all that matters. So, for example, if I'm working on my job and I know that God has given me a gift, He's given me a light to shine, then I can be used by God in working with the children and the families that I serve. There's a way that I can communicate with them. There's a way that I can speak to them. There's a way that I can help them. And that's still being used by God, okay? If I'm teaching, there's a way that I can be used by God. There's so many times that I get in my car after being off work and I just sit in my car and cry because there has been an encounter or interaction where I know God has just used me, because it's not something I could have accomplished on my own, and that's still being used by God, right? So don't think that, okay, I have to, be seen, right? Being used by God doesn't require you to always be seen of men. In fact, if you feel like being used by God requires you to always be seen and visible, then you want to go back to the drawing board and examine your motives in your heart, because there's so many things that we should be doing in life that are being used by God that does not require a camera, a lens, a microphone, or just a magnifying glass on what we're doing, right? If we're giving to the poor, we're giving to the needy, those things definitely don't have to be documented. Those shouldn't be documented. Those should be things that you do from the act of the heart and from the act of service, right? So just be encouraged and know that the more that you take these opportunities to be used by God to heart, and you don't take it lightly, and you don't think, oh, that's not being used by God, that's not important enough, and nobody's going to see or know about it. No, get that out of your mind, and you have the mind that God, whatever you desire me today, and however you want to use me in your will at your capacity, I'm open. Watch how God begins to use you. Watch how God begins to use you and do things through you as a vessel, because now He knows you're willing, you're obedient, and your heart is pure, and He knows that you will answer and heed His voice. So be encouraged, and I hope that you have a blessed day.